Zdravo! A couple of months ago, someone left a comment in a comment section to ask about the verbal aspect. Now, I will try my best to explain this, even though it is the specific Slavic concept that exists as far as I'm concerned in Slavic languages, and because of that, I'm wearing a proper Slavic outfit. It's a Adidas tracksuit, like a real Slavs. Now, dobrodošli! Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos about Serbian grammar. What is the verbal aspect? Let's see. It's a very, very hard question. You wouldn't believe how hard it is. Because the thing is that it doesn't really exist, and it is abstract. It is abstract to understand the language in that way. You know how in English you have progressive and simple tense? For example, I was cooking whole day, kuvala sam ceo dan, and I cooked. Kuvala sam. Or I finished lunch, skuvala sam ručak. The same thing is happening in Serbian, but just in the other way. The idea is that if we talk about finished or unfinished action, it is not about the tense, it is in the verb itself. That information in Serbian we will have in the verb itself. The trickiest part, it mostly depends on context. Unfortunately, that is the hardest and saddest thing about verbal aspect. Examples. Gledala sam film 2 sata I pogledala sam dobar film juče. In both sentences we do have past tense. If you look like that, both actions are finished. And I won't argue about that, that's completely true. Ali, in the second sentence, the action is in the past, but it's finished because of the verb we used, because of the feeling that the verb itself wants to transmit. In the first sentence, we have the notion of how long the action lasted. It has been done in the span of 2 hours. Now, I have some tips that will maybe help you to recognize if we talk about finished or unfinished action. Try to pay attention to those small words like 2 hours, 2 sata, a year, godinu dana, dok, while, dugo for a long time, pola sata, 30 minutes, svaki dan, every day, etc. If we have a sentence like dugo sam čitala knjigu, I was reading book for a long time, dugo čitam knjigu, I'm reading a book for a long time, dugo ću čitati knjigu, I will be reading a book for a long time. All those actions are imperfective, or as I said before, unfinished. What do we ask? How long? We don't have the information if the book is finished. We just know that someone has been reading the book. Now, if we have perfective or finished verbs, those would go with verbs like u trenutku, u momentu, in the moment, odjednom, suddenly, čim, as soon as. U trenutku je popila kafu. She finished her coffee in the moment. Does this make sense? Yes, no, maybe. For me, it makes sense. And I have a fly somewhere there. Dobro. My point is, try to pay attention to the words that are around the verb, the context, and above all, the idea of what you want to transmit or someone that you're talking with. We can learn some rules, like for example that finished verbs normally would have prefixes like uraditi, skuvati, pročitati, and also that they would normally go with modal verbs. But I will now give you the example that it doesn't need to be like that. Moram da radim domaći, moram da uradim domaći. Moram da radim domaći would mean that you have to start doing it and we don't know if you should finish it. But moram da uradim domaći or you will finish it eventually. moram da uradim domaći, it means that you have to start and to finish it. Like the action itself has to be finished. That's the idea. Don't be so hard on yourself if you don't understand this. It is a difficult topic. And if you don't catch it right away, it's completely normal. Make mistakes and try to speak with Serbian people. Try to use maybe something like TalkPol AE, where she will correct you, or maybe Hello Talk apps where you can talk with like real people who are willing to learn Serbian, things like that. Also, I figured out that flashcards with pairs of verbs works for majority of my students. And you have some good language schools, you can Google it. They already made all of those workbooks and flashcards. You can download it, print it, make your own examples, and learn the verbs that we use most often. But the second thing that helps is to do drills where you can just choose between two verbs in the context of the sentence. In the description down below, you will find such a task. Now, just a little bit more examples. Svaki dan radim isti posao. I do the same job every day. Juče sam uradila puno stvari. Yesterday I finished a lot of things. And to wrap it up, this is not about the verbal tense. It is about the verb itself that will give us the information if the action is finished or unfinished, if the verb is perfective or imperfective. I really hope that this helped, at least just a little bit. Samo malo. Write in comments how do you understand this, and if you have some additional tips of how you should learn the verbal aspect for our fellow students, I will be really grateful, and I think they will be too. Do sljedećeg videa. Vidimo se, ciao!